Here are the crypto top headlines covered in this video. XRP jumps 20% after mysterious Binance transfers as crypto rally expands to laggards. Next, large corporations, major wirehouses, gearing up to buy Bitcoin, says Bitwise. Also, SEC radio silence on Ethereum ETF, not a good sign, says Bloomberg Analyst. Welcome to Crypto Top Headlines, where there's no clickbait thumbnails or titles, and no speeches on my opinions, just bringing crypto's news to you. We are a new channel here on YouTube, and would greatly appreciate it if you would click on the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell. It does help support the channel, so thank you in advance for doing so. Now, on to these headlines. Our first top headline: XRP jumps 20% after mysterious Binance transfers as crypto rally expands to laggards. The action could be a sign of traders rotating some of their capital to tokens that haven't moved yet. Ripple, the native cryptocurrency of the XRP ledger payment network developed by Ripple Labs, advanced over 20% Monday, snapping its downtrend versus Bitcoin as the crypto rally broadened. CoinDesk data shows that XRP sharply jumped to 74 cents in a little more than an hour Monday afternoon UTC time, notching its highest price since a very short-lived spike last November amid speculation about a potential BlackRock-managed XRP ETF. Today's 20% gain made XRP the best-performing asset in the broad market CoinDesk 20 Index, or CD20, which was higher by 5%. While Bitcoin had already broken record highs, and some corners of the crypto space such as meme coins and artificial intelligence, or AI, tokens experienced exorbitant gains, XRP had so far been notably absent from the action. When measured against Bitcoin, XRP prior to today's move had slid to a 3-year low, TradingView data shows. Even with this afternoon's big jump, XRP is now only up 17% year-to-date, substantially underperforming BTC's 64% advance and the broad market CoinDesk 20 Index 54% gain. XRP's rally could be a sign of traders turning their attention and rotating some of their capital to tokens that haven't moved yet as the rally on digital asset markets broadens. Other older cryptocurrencies such as Litecoin and Dash, which too had been laggards over the past months, also surged over the past 24 hours, gaining 18% and 9% respectively. Avalanches, Polkadots, and Cardanos advanced 8 to 13% during the day. XRP transfers from Binance. While there wasn't any apparent catalyst immediately before XRP's price action, large token movements from crypto exchange Binance sparked speculations among crypto observers. Blockchain data tracker Whale Alert noted a transfer of 300 million XRP, worth some $187 million at the time, leaving Binance's address and deposited into an unknown wallet. The transfer was then followed by a series of similar outbound transactions worth 18 to 19 million XRP each from Binance and deposited to different addresses. The transactions could perhaps indicate whales, large crypto investors, accumulating XRP before the move up, but may also be due to the exchange shifting coins to new addresses as part of an internal wallet maintenance. Let me pause here for a moment. If you're getting value out of this video, please click on the like and subscribe buttons as well as the notification bell. Our next top headline: large corporations, major wirehouses gearing up to buy Bitcoin, says Bitwise. Institutions representing trillions of dollars in assets are expected to buy into spot Bitcoin ETFs by June this year, says Bitwise's Matt Hogan. Institutions representing trillions of dollars in assets are preparing to buy into spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds by the end of June, said crypto-native asset manager Bitwise. In a March 9th investment memo sent out to investors, Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hogan said Bitwise was involved in serious due diligence discussions with large corporations, major wirehouses, and institutional consultants looking to increase their exposure to Bitcoin in the coming months. Hogan said that Bitwise had already confirmed that a wide array of individual retail investors, family offices, hedge funds, and venture capital firms were looking to snap up more allocation into spot Bitcoin ETFs. Just as important as who is buying today is who will be buying tomorrow, he said. The outsized institutional appetite for Bitcoin ETFs has already been credited by several analysts for spurring the price of Bitcoin more than 50% from $45,603 since their inception on January 11th to a price of $68,583 at the time of publication per TradingView. While Bitcoin ETFs have already generated nearly $9 billion in net inflows since their launch, Hogan said he expects inflows into the 10 approved spot Bitcoin ETF products to accelerate further heading into the second half of the year. These are massive categories representing trillions of dollars in assets, said Hogan. Based on current trends, I'd suspect we'll see our first significant flows from these three groups in Q2 2024, and I think those flows will accelerate throughout the year as these investors become more comfortable with the new products. This isn't the first time that Hogan has expressed his bullishness for Bitcoin ETFs. On February 29th, he said he expected there to be an even bigger wave of institutional capital coming into the products, saying this would push Bitcoin's price substantially higher. According to BitMEX research data, Bitcoin ETFs have attracted net inflows of $8.89 billion since their inception, with BlackRock's iShares IBIT fund leading the charge on new inflows. These are bananas numbers for ETFs under 2 months old, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas said in a March 5th X post reporting earlier figures. On March 8th, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF surpassed business intelligence firm MicroStrategy in terms of total Bitcoin held, touting 197,943 BTC on its balance sheet, worth over $13.5 billion at current prices. Our next top headline, SEC radio silence on Ethereum ETF, not a good sign, says Bloomberg analyst. Senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas says the chances of an ETH ETF approval grow slimmer every day the SEC maintains its radio silence with prospective fund issuers. A lack of communication from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission around Ether, exchange-traded funds, toward issuers could be a bad sign for those hoping for Ether ETF approvals by May. Speaking to Cointelegraph, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas said there were more than a few reasons he's now downgraded the chances of Ether ETF approval to just 35%. The main thing is the fact that we're 73 days from the final deadline and there's been no contact or comments from the SEC to the issuers. That's not a good sign, Balchunas said. The SEC has to give comments, and the issuers have to work on correcting them. They may have to refile, and they might even want to have a couple of meetings. It's kind of a long process, said Balchunas. He added that he'd also sourced good intel to suggest that the SEC may be giving the silent treatment to prospective fund issuers on purpose. Balchunas also said SEC Chair Gary Gensler's stance on Ether could also play a part, arguing that Gensler still thinks of Ether as a security and may be unwilling to endure another round of the political blowback he received following the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs and the SEC's court loss to Grayscale in August 2023. I also feel like he feels like he threw the industry a bone. He ate crow with the court loss, and from his perspective, it's like, all right, you should be satisfied now, he said. At the end of the day, Gensler thinks Ether is a security. He would not want to approve it unless he thought it to be a commodity like Bitcoin. All of this little stuff adds up. Something feels off. Balchunas said the ETF process for Ether feels like the reverse of what he'd experienced during the spot Bitcoin ETF race. While he concluded that this was a personal judgment or sixth sense, didn't form a big part of the calculus behind his odds for the ETF approval, he described it as being an important guiding factor nonetheless. This just feels different to the Bitcoin ETF race. Whether it was our sourcing actual public documentation or just our gut instinct, it all kind of grew and got more bullish. Everything fed on each other as a positive, and so our odds naturally went up. This feels like the reverse. In a March 11th post to X, ETF store president Nate Garachi noted that it was strange the SEC would approve several ETH futures ETF products in October and then not approve spot products in May, adding there was very little explanation for why that would be the case. Meanwhile, Matt Corva, general counsel at Consensus, said in a March 11th post on X that an ETH ETF denial could be a positive development in the long term. If ETH goes, they get crushed by their political handlers and they have no arbitrary ground left to battle against other coins. This is a great thing, Corva said. On March 6th, crypto exchange giant Coinbase and asset manager Grayscale met with SEC officials to discuss a rule change to launch spot Ether exchange-traded funds. While many crypto industry pundits considered this to be a positive sign for an Ether ETF approval, Balchunas looked to a strong thesis from VB Capital general partner Scott Johnson as the best explanation for why that may not be the case. Johnson pointed out that the meeting wasn't between prospective fund issuers and was largely focused on analytics of the correlation between the prices of ETH and BTC futures compared to spot. The correlation analysis could be used as grounds to approve or deny the ETF, although denial seemed more likely to Johnson, something that Balchunas agreed with. If the SEC were to reject all of the pending Ethereum ETF applications outright, Balchunas said the next most important date to watch would be Tuesday, November 5th, the day of the U.S. presidential election. Even if Biden wins, sometimes they switch up people running things, which means Gensler could move. If Trump wins, that will change a lot, said Balchunas. That's my reasoning behind the election being the day to watch. Ultimately, Balchunas was confident that a spot Ether ETF was more a matter of when, not if, and asserted that an approval would almost certainly happen eventually. It's tough to nail down when, but the more time that goes by, the more this stuff gets worked out. So this concludes our top headlines. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to click on the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you all for watching Crypto Top Headlines, bringing crypto's news to you.